Felix Prince, who was born in New York into a well-known family in the entertainment industry, was a promising piano and conductor prodigy. A famous Finnish conductor attests that Felix was a wonderchild who could conduct advanced musical pieces at an early age. Instead of a career in the world of classical music, he ended up in a mental ward in Sweden with slim chances to ever become free again. His mother, Christina Prince, explains that the Swedish clinic makes huge money keeping him locked up. The doctors in charge of the clinic claim that Felix has a mental illness, lie about his background as a pianist, and that he needs to be medicated by injections of heavy drugs. Christina says they are slowly killing him to fabricate a carte blanche and freedom of accountability.
I'm sitting here with Christina Prince, the mother of Felix Prince. Can you tell us something about his diagnosis that he got when he was a kid?
He was diagnosed as hyperactive until we found out that he was completely intolerant to sugar, dairy and gluten. By contacting our Dr. Morton Teach in New York, a very well-known profile of his own, he did a total of 60 blood tests to verify Felix's insensitivity to food. And it's now later in his life he has been exposed to these very dangerous, for him very dangerous medications, which gives him a paradoxical reaction.
So what kind of diagnosis do you have from
metabolic disorder?
And where did you get that? In Sweden or
in America?
In America. And when he reacts to the food, how do he react?
Yes, if he, by mistake, has a piece of birthday cake or a few glasses of orange juice, he can get very aggressive and basically forget in a minute what he just did. He can be aggressive, and that can cause problems because it's nearly like he's on some kind of, they call it narcotic drugs. He changes personality right away.
Your mother told me that you when you are at this facility, they give you some kind of injections. Can you talk about that?
They make me lose my memory and I can't remember what I'm saying, and I feel like they're erasing my memory.
How often?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. And how does they make you feel?
I don't feel good. I feel like I lose my memory and I can't remember my life or childhood or anything like that.
And what is the Swedish approach to this kind of diagnosis?
Sweden has totally ignored. In order to get Swedish authorities to believe that we actually are right, Felix has to be invited to CMMS, which is, I say in Swedish, it's the Center for metabolically born children with insensitivity, extreme insensitivity of the metabolic syndrome, and that has to be taken 7 months before you can verify a solid diagnosis on that. And once we arrived to Sweden 2019, I personally contacted the closest facility in Linköping, and it was because of my attempt to clear things up for Felix. We were totally ignored by the chief doctor, who said that the documents we are bringing from US, we think they're falsified.
And now he is at this facility in Vadstena, and there is a doctor there called Susanne Noske. And what's her opinion about this diagnosis?
She has constantly, since the very beginning, ignored his needs for gluten and dairy-free food. And she has allowed plenty of sugar in the food.
Yeah, you told me that you met this doctor. Her name is
Susanne Noske.
Yeah, Susanne Noske. Who is she?
She's a doctor, but she's not a good doctor. She's a bad doctor.
Have you spoken to her?
Yeah, and she says all the time the medication is not too strong. You're making it up.
She doesn't believe your experiences with the drugs.
Yeah.
He has complained, and today he is allowed to walk himself to the store to buy his own food, but still he's forced to eat the hospital food, which of course contains gluten and dairy. And Dr. Noske has no sympathy for his sensitivity.
So what happens if you eat the wrong food?
I get aggressive.
And when you're aggressive, what do you
And
do?
they think I'm violent, which I'm not.
Okay, so it has happened that you became violent when you had eaten
Wrong food.
the wrong food, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't seem to be violent now, are you?
No, because I'm on a diet. I eat vegetables every day, and
So they allow you to eat a better diet.
I buy my own food. They don't buy it for me. They have bad food I have to eat.
So you can kind of self-medicate using a good diet.
Greens, yeah, temporarily.
All right. And what's the kind of medication that he's getting?
Oh, she's completely making him take morphine and opioids, and that's just to calm down his reaction to the food the hospital is basically forcing him to eat. And if he refused to eat in the past, he was refused to eat the hospital food. He was then forced by 2 caretakers who held his arms, and the third one fed him against his will.
With a tube?
Yeah, nearly. I don't know the details because we are not allowed to see him since he was placed here, and we are extremely worried.
How long has he been in Sweden?
He arrived 2019 in September, and he's been told that he has to stay here until they have so-called cured him. But because they delay his allowance to leave, we don't know who's telling the truth, because they are claiming that he is slowly getting better. Even if we who have been in contact with him, we can discuss politics and different matters with him. He's totally clear in his head, which is very strange that the doctor has a totally different opinion. And
he said that you can't see him. What happened there?
What happened was in the fall of 2021, he had been treated with something called is like a laxative, and that has artificial sugar in it. And he was forced to take this treatment twice a week from May 18th to end of August. And he warned the caretakers and the doctor, I can't tolerate this artificial sugar. And because of that, he was locked up during this time. And one young caretaker, only 20 years old, tortured Felix by destroying his left hand when he was trying to defend himself. So he was placed in total isolation in end of August, and this very mean caretaker, his name was Oscar. The case was never revealed in any court situation. The doctor and the caretaker protected this young student who tortured our son and destroyed his left hand.
I was told that they were violent to you and they hurt your hand.
Yeah, that's correct.
What happened?
He put my hand through a slide door and then closed it on it.
On purpose?
No, for fun.
For fun. Why do you think he wanted to hurt you like that?
He said no one believed you, that's what he told me. He was a staff there in 2021.
So he was working there, but is no longer working there?
No.
So why do you think he wanted to hurt your hand for fun?
Because he...
What happened before that?
I reached my hand out to try to say hi to him, and then he closed it on me.
Did he do that on several occasions, or?
Yeah, 4 or 5 times.
In the same way?
Yeah.
And then he said,
no one will believe you if you say it.
By banging the little window in the door, so his hand would be crushed. And why we know this is that I met my son on the 27th of August. The following week, I got a phone call by a very nervous doctor who said, Felix is not well enough to meet you again. And for 6 weeks, this hand was totally dark blue. And to this day, he has not been allowed to make an X-ray. We don't know if he has any feeling in the hand. He is a very talented concert pianist, and as a young person he performed in Steinway Hall in New York and got he even conducted a big orchestra at age 8 by heart. So we have proof that he is not what they called him here in Vadstena.
Do you have any documentation of him being at the concert hall?
We never took any taping because we never thought this could turn into this. I only have photos together with some now today famous conductors, and I have a written document by Professor Jorma Panula who said this kid is a prodigy.
So maybe you can show that.
Yes.
Can you say something about why he ended up in a Swedish hospital? Because before he came to Sweden, he was in Iceland. So
yeah.
Can you say something about what happened in Iceland?
Yes, we lived happily in Iceland until his grandfather, fairly famous Harold Prince of Broadway, took the flight from Paris to New York. But he was not totally well that day, so he decided to stay overnight in Iceland, and he got a heart attack and died suddenly, and it became a shock for all of us. Felix was very eager to just put his hand on the casket or find out what actual time he left. He took his last breath, and both the family and my ex-husband refused to tell him that, and it became a very big trauma for Felix. And because of that I asked for help, and without knowing the danger of these type of seductive calming medication, they became very dangerous for Felix, who then reacted paradoxical to these medications, this type of medication. He has before then never been a sickly child. He has never been criminal or aggressive because he always followed his diet.
Your mother told me that you're a good pianist.
I'm a good pianist.
How good?
I can play piano very well, but they deny me that in the department where I am.
So you can't play any music?
No.
What can you do in your room?
Nothing, just pray every day.
Oh, you pray?
Yeah.
So you can eat your food in your room?
No, only outside.
So they prepare the food that you buy yourself?
Yeah.
Can you read books?
No, I don't read books. I mean, I read the Bible, that's all I read.
Oh. No other books?
No.
Okay. Do you have internet access?
I have internet access to Zoom, but I can't. I don't have a camera or microphone.
Okay. So, but you do have a mobile phone?
Cell phone.
A cell phone, yeah. And you can, what can you do with your cell phone? Can you call your friends, your mother?
Call my mom, but they punish me with, I don't know, they punish me with restrictions like you can't see your mom, you can't visit her. And I say I want to see her, and they say no, and I say I want to see her.
What about the environment, the overall environment? Do you have things to do when you're...
No, I don't. I'm alone. I have no friends. I'm isolated.
You're isolated?
Yeah.
What does that mean, that you're isolated?
I'm in an isolated department. I'm not in an open department.
Okay. So they kind of lock you up in a room?
Yeah.
For how many hours?
The whole day.
The whole day. But you are allowed to leave and come out of the room and and go to the shopping area here?
Yeah,
How many times a week?
twice a week.
Twice a week you can go here.
Yeah.
All right. And okay, before you came to Sweden, did you have any hobbies?
I was planning maybe to study to become a Jehovah's Witness, but I don't know. It was too much. When my grandfather died, I was shocked.
Yeah. All right. Why were you shocked about this?
Because I never got a chance to see him or say goodbye to the casket. They refused for me to go to the casket when he died.
So he was close to you?
I mean, he was not close, but I never got a chance to meet him, and that's why I got angry at my mom, because they didn't allow me to go to the casket on his funeral.
Why?
I don't know. They rejected me in the family. My grandmother, father.
Okay. I was also told that it's very cold in your room.
Yeah, it's cold. It's never warm. It's always cold in my room.
Do you know how cold? Do you have a thermometer?
No, I'm not allowed to.
Okay. So, have you told the staff that you're cold?
Yeah, I've
Freezing?
told them, but they deny it.
So they don't give you any blankets or...
No.
Do you think you will be free one day from
I don't
this?
think so.
Sorry?
They'll keep me for a while.
They will keep you for a while.
Yeah.
And where do you want to live when you are free?
Maybe United States.
Okay.
Basically, they accuse me of being mentally retarded, which I'm not. I've been conducting orchestra by Yoma Panama when I was a kid, and no retarded person can do that.
Yeah, I know. You're a pianist. Do they claim that you have said something about your conductor?
They said I'm mentally retarded, which I'm not.
That you're mentally retarded?
They don't give me much freedom. They don't allow me to see my mom and dad. They say I can't meet them or something like that.
So they are obstructing you from seeing people who are as closest to you as anyone could be.
Yeah, like my mom. Yeah.
Do you have anyone else that you could see apart from your mother in Sweden, whom you know very well, whom you have been knowing for many years? No. So she is the only social activity that you could have in Sweden. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And they have forbidden you to see her.
Yeah.
Can you see that there could be any change in direction for the future regarding their behavior and their decisions that they have been taking for some years? So you can't see that there could be any kind of development, that you could be allowed to see your mother, or that you could... No. Do you believe that this is a regular pattern of behavior from the people working in the ward?
Yeah.
You think this is conducted against other patients as well in Sweden?
Maybe, I don't know, but mostly me, I feel.
Is there anything you would want to say to people if this is being brought out in public?
Yeah, I want them to know that I want a good lawyer and get out of here and come back to America or something like that.
How do you bleed through your days? What do you do?
I don't